Welcome to the Share Talk CEO interview, and it's with Gervaise Heddle, who's the CEO of Greatland Gold. How are you today, Gervaise?
Very well, thank you for having me, Zak.
Okay, well, let's start off with what your company does for those who are not familiar with it. £5 million market cap, up to 6 million on a sunny day.
Yes.
But what's going on at your company?
Well, Greatland has been listed on AIM since 2006. We have 5 major projects, all of which are in Australia. We have 2 gold projects in Tasmania, and we have 2 gold projects in Western Australia, and a nickel sulphide project in Western Australia as well. And we're advancing exploration across all of those assets. We had some success last year at the Ernest Giles project, where we identified 2 large zones of gold mineralisation. We're driving those projects forward and also on the lookout for new opportunities as well.
Right, and you got the 5 projects. I mean, is the potential here, let's say, open? It could be it could be a medium-sized, large-sized gold mine. What's your gut feeling in terms of what you could be, what you could be realising? Let's say.
Sure. Well, if we just look at the Ernest Giles project, that's 1,000 square kilometres of a virtually unexplored greenstone belt, and we in effect control that greenstone belt. Our view is that it could host multiple gold camps, so camps of up to 5 million ounces each. Obviously, it's still very early days in the exploration. We've done soil sampling across various parts of the belt. We've done the drilling at the Meadows target, which was successful. But there's a lot of work to do there, and we're following up some of that work now with gravity work, surveys, and also some passive seismic surveys. But there's tremendous potential there because, as you would know, Zak, most of the gold deposits in Western Australia are hosted in these greenstone belts, and we have, in essence, a virtually untouched greenstone belt undercover, which we're going to be advancing.
So anything is possible? Anything's
possible here, yes, definitely. Yes.
Right, I'm going to probably go straight into the viewers' questions, sure. Not in any great order. I suppose it's a bit of a jumble here, but a bit early days on Ernest Giles, but what ideas did Gervaise have in moving this forward in terms of funding models or joint ventures?
Sure, so with a big project like that, we're very open to considering, partnership with other players. Now, some may say, oh, well, it's too early a stage of project, but definitely in the last 6 months, mid-tier and bigger players in Australia have taken interest in early stage exploration projects again. So, we're very interested in opportunities there to partner with, other parties and move that forward.
All right, technical question. Will Greatland derive 3D models from the Ernest Giles magnetic and other survey data?
We won't derive 3D models as such, but the gravity and the seismic surveys will hopefully give us a much better idea of the way the rocks run and how the basement, the topography of the basement basically. So that's the idea. We won't have perfect 3D models per se, as you might if you do downhole electromagnetics, which we haven't done there yet, but we're going to get a better idea of what's out there.
Right, referring to Havieron, the time horizons and the plan there, and also what percentage of that can you earn, and what do you have to do to earn that percentage? Sure.
Well, we've got an agreement to buy 100% of that with no carry, so we've got that locked in now that we'll get 100%. That deal was finalised once the native title situation is finalised there, and once that is, the licence will be granted. It becomes ours. We will issue the shares that we promised to the counterparty. So it's just a matter of time while we finalise the last parts of this native title agreement. And then the plan there is to, our initial plan, well, first of all, we're collecting a lot of historical data, which is a key part of it, and then we're going to go out and do gravity work there as well. But that's a very large IOCG target. We've got about a 1 kilometre by 1 kilometre magnetic anomaly there. We know there's gold and copper mineralisation there, peaking up to 15 grams per tonne gold and 2.5% copper. So we're very keen to get started there and get on with it.
Right, apart from cracking open the champagne, what does Greatland plan for Bromus if the drill results are good?
Well, then we just have to have a good look at it and decide, how we best pursue it from there. So if we did hit massive sulphide mineralisation there that was valuable, then we'd have to plan a much more extensive program, which would require some approvals. But yeah, it would be hopefully just press on with it as quickly as we can.
Right, and finally, is there any possibility of a dual listing on the ASX sometime in the future?
Look, we have the view that in many ways Greatland would be better positioned if it was listed on the ASX. Properties are in Australia, and Australian investors, at least in this point of time, I think would probably give us a greater market capitalisation than potentially we're getting in London. You know, Australians like Australian-based gold projects at this point in time. But as an AIM-listed company, entering into a dual listing situation is quite expensive, and it creates ongoing compliance costs, etc. So it's something I think we would do if we are a bigger company. So if we have success at one of our major projects, or more success there, then we would consider that. But I think for now it's just a little bit too early.
Right, and for people who are but not invested in your company yet, what would you say are the bullet points for having a look at Greatland Gold?
Well, first of all, we are essentially a gold play, and I have a very positive view, medium term and long term, on the precious metals. We've got demonstrated gold mineralisation at 4 of our 5 projects, and obviously all of our projects are in a great jurisdiction. So I think if you're looking for an early stage gold exploration play at hopefully the nascent stage of a gold bull market, I think that we've got a good company, plus we've got a management team who are very sensible, business oriented, and judicious about the use of shareholder capital.
Big turnaround in the mining sector since the beginning of last year. Do you think this has legs? Is it going to help you, etc.?
Yeah, so that's the $64 million question, isn't it? I mean, our view has been we've been at the beginning of the commodities bull market that started, in early 2016, and but I don't think it's going to be necessarily great for all commodities. Some may benefit more than others. Our view is that precious metals are going to particularly benefit in the next cycle, given the fiscal and monetary issues that plague sort of the Western world at the moment. But look, hopefully, global growth continues at a pace, and there's good support for the strategic base metals as well. Some of these niche commodities have probably run ahead of themselves a little bit, a bit of euphoria around them, but look, I think there's going to be plenty of opportunities over the next 5 years.
Great news. Gervaise Heddle, CEO of Greatland Gold, thanks for appearing today on Share Talk.
Thank you very much, Zak.